What is going on, everybody? How you doing tonight? Happy Saturday. This is a special edition of Late Night with Suge Knight, Marvel ta- Marvel Table Talk. I think I should have switched that. Should have been Round Table. No, that's already taken. Ravens Round Table. Uh, it could have been Marvel Lunch Break Hot Take. No, that's taken. Marvel Road Podcast. No, that's taken too. Shit. All the good names are taken. Marvel what is it? The bench seats, Monday quarterback, Big Reg. I don't know. They're all the good names are taken. So whatever. It's Marvel Table Talk, and we're gonna talk some Marvel. Appreciate y'all hanging out, being here. Let's get it going.
Live from LA like the Lakers with a late show. Home of the Dodgers with a palm trees grow. Feeling like Ben Roethlisberger when he went pro. Where my Steelers fans at? Everybody, let's go. Magic in the gathering for the ones that don't know. Late night with Suge, y'all turn into the show.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. We are here. We're going to talk some Marvel. You know, the first thing I got to say, though, is I was watching that video right now. I realized I have way too much Hendo and Brodney in that video.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking it's not late night at all. Sun's still up.
I mean, technically, it's kind of late night for y'all, like 20 minutes away. But okay.
It is
You are so grumpy. You're so grumpy today, aren't you? I like that background though. Black Panther, the first one, was dope. Great movie. If you can't see already, I got some special guests with me. Hopefully a couple more will be popping in. First off, I got my man, my side partner, my buddy, Mr. Hendo. How you doing today, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Glad to see your glorious face. It's always nice when I get to see it, even though I have it in my promo.
Oh no.
And of course, my other buddy, good pal, Mr. Brodney. How you doing from the Lunch Break Hot Take? Ring Kings podcast today.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
I mean, you could just say it. Why you got to put it in the chat for?
Well, he's under the impression that you're doing loyalty points as well, and he's trying to get his points up, but that's not the case.
That's not the show.
No loyalty points.
My other good friend, Mr. Brandon Buck. How you doing, sir?
Just ready to have a civil conversation with people about things on the internet. No yelling, no hot takes.
Wait a minute. Is that a shot at somebody, Buck? I see you
That
put
is
on your
absolutely a shot at.
you put on
at
your Supergirl
Gretch.
PJs, and now you get courage.
It's a damn t-shirt. It's a normal
I got it.
t-shirt.
I
Okay,
No,
Hendo.
that's a shot at
Hendo.
Red.
I bet it's real comfy at nighttime.
Hendo.
You put on your courage. You put on your courage
Hendo.
outfit. Yes.
Hendo. He wanted to remind you that Spider-Man will forever be first a white man. That's why he did it today.
Not whatsoever.
Oh,
Okay.
this is not.
So
going
Miles
to be-
Morales, get to the back. Get to the back.
Why do you have to make me look
Shut
like
up.
I'm a racist? Like, why do you have to do that?
Why are you putting this in the? Oh no, this is Brandon. What's up, Brandon? Jonah Heck for DC Champ. We're not talking DC. I was gonna go off on the newcomer here. He is coming in for the first time, I believe, on my channel. I've been on his channel, Mr. Big Reg. How you doing today, sir?
I'm well. Thank you for having me, sir.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. I mean, one of the things that's going to be exciting is you and me have been arguing in 4 different discords about comic book movies. Why we do it in 4 different discords, no idea. But we've been
Because
talking.
Reg be running.
Nah, I think I'm just the first one to answer, man. I'm ready to fire back at all times.
What is going on? DVD? Is this Brandon?
No.
What?
Or who that is?
Brandon who?
Welcome, Bazel. I thought you was-
No.
So he just changed his name right in the middle of the stream from his first.
No,
one?
well, if you were paying attention,
It's Davon. It's Davon.
this is YouTube. That is Twitch. See, I
It's Dave
still,
on. It's Dave
I know
on.
who it is. I know who it is. But I still stream to Twitch because I'm not scared of Twitch. Okay, unlike some people.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Hey, Davon, let us
What
know
up,
in the
Davon?
Discord when that Twitch stream gets taken down.
And you can jump right
Oh
in.
man.
Probably very soon. Okay, Brandon Almas on Twitch. Well, Brandon,
Yeah,
appreciate
Bramble
you.
Moss.
I think it's Brandon Almas.
Almost.
Brando.
It says all.
It's Brandle.
How about
Brandle
this?
Moss.
How about
Randall.
B? No, how
Randall.
about B? No, how about B Randall?
Bree Randall. Bree Randall Moss. Yeah.
How about it don't matter?
Oh, what?
Right?
That
Continue
works
with
too.
the intro to the show.
He's
Yeah.
Ronnie's like, I got things to do.
Facts,
That works
man.
too.
Reg got it. All right. Reg got it. All right. So we're gonna be talking about a couple different things with Marvel. Yeah, he's so proud of himself. Huh?
I know. It's just like 1-0.
Well,
That's my thoughts exactly.
it's a play on my name and Randall Cunningham. Okay. Randall Cunningham. I love that guy. He's a good quarterback.
Weird.
You like Randall Cunningham? Okay, this is not a sports show. We're not even going to get
Randall
into
Cunningham was my favorite quarterback.
Randall
but maybe
Cunningham
not
was
so much
awesome.
anymore.
I mean, we got it, Brandon. We knew plus Randy Moss. We understood.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You guys sneaking a jab at me every time.
who's thinking the jab at you?
You know, you are
I was talking to Brandon. What are you talking about?
talking about Marvel. We're talking about Marvel right now. Hendo.
Exactly. And somebody come in
So-
here and bringing up that stinking ass DC.
Hey, remember when I was like, it doesn't matter? Continue with the intro to the show.
You know, it was going to go off the rails right off the bat. So you know,
You did.
Hendo showed up, and we're like, oh well.
That's what I'm about to be. I'm about to be going. Y'all have a good
No,
day.
you're not. You know, you're.
I'm
not.
about to click off. Like, keep it
Don't
up.
you click off? Don't you do it?
Keep blaming me for you not taking control of your stream.
Our stream,
It's not on my channel.
Dirty City. All right. So Phase 5 of Marvel. Here's a little breakdown of what's in Phase 5 right now. Obviously, Ant-Man and the Wasp came out. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The next movie is Marvel's 3.
Can't wait.
I love his little commentary as I go down this stuff. The Marvels, Captain America, Brave and the New Bold. I don't like that they changed the title. Thunderbolts, Blade,
Yes.
Deadpool 3, and then we have TV series. Secret Invasion,
Oh yeah.
Loki, Echo, Ironheart, Agatha, Daredevil. So
Just want to
I
say
know
Deadpool's actually Phase 6.
it's literally in Phase 5. So
It's in Phase 6. It starts
how's
Phase
it in Phase
6.
6?
It starts Phase 6. Yeah, it does.
Literally doesn't because it's not on. Whatever. Still in there. God,
You
Brandon,
took that
messenger
down real
again.
quick.
I did.
Took that down real quick.
So far from what we got from Phase 5, we have we're kind of in a weird situation. Obviously, we are going to be talking about Jonathan Majors, who is supposed to be more. His character was going to be the big bad of Phase 6, but this was introducing him. We got an introduction of him, the different variants of him, and then we were going to kind of going into Phase 6 where we would be more of a conflict against him. We'll talk about what we think Marvel should do from this point on with him. But so far, Phase 5 of Marvel, how have you guys enjoyed it? Have you enjoyed it? Do you think that it's underperforming? Or is it right where you think it should be? Obviously, we're so used to Marvel being big, glamorous, and really having all these great movies. Not always having great movies, but having these big spectacles. Things have kind of slowed down, but it's almost like we're restarting because we're introducing new characters, new storylines, things like that. How have you guys felt about it? Is it what you guys like, enjoy, don't enjoy? And I'll start off with you, Big Reg. How are you feeling about Phase 5?
it's got ups and downs. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, many people aren't. Uh, also,
Ass Rich.
also,
yourself.
Wow.
also,
Hater.
well, I mean, it has its moments. Okay, I'm not completely against it. It has its moments. In some parts, I feel it really lacks, and they kind of miscommunicate the story, and that's my problem with it. But Ant-Man is really kind of the bottom of the barrel for me when it comes to Marvel.
Thanks.
So I like how they introduced Kang. That was a great start, and that carried that entire movie. But where do you go from there? I mean, I feel like Ant-Man didn't tell you much into the future of what he's got coming next. Hopefully, not much though. But Kang is the importance of that movie, and I think that's been the most important thing in Phase 5 thus far. I mean, he's supposed to be the leading role coming into Phase 6, and I mean, obviously, we'll talk about that later, but it's been okay. I'm not gonna give it a big super thumbs up. Some of the series have been pretty darn good, but it's been a little bit lackluster for me.
Yeah, and a lot of the series from Phase 4, leading into Phase 5, have been okay. Like you were saying, it seems like in Phase 5 we're gonna get a heavy dose of those TV series, and then eventually, most likely in Phase 6, we'll have the crossovers between movies and TV series. So I do agree with you there, Mister Hendo.
Yo.
I know that you are a bit. You were kind of giving some takes on what Big Red was saying. How do you feel about what you've seen so far?
Phase 5?
Yeah,
I honestly don't care. To be honest with you, I'm not as excited. Listen, it's entertainment, but I'm not as excited. Listen, once Black Widow died, Vision got destroyed, um, Iron Man died, Captain America retired. Once all those things happened, it was just like one of my children moved away, and all the excitement has been gone. I'm glad that they have different stories and new things going on, but it just doesn't have that Marvel feel for me. Now I'm excited about the Marvels because they're gonna let the lady shine, something that Marvel has kind of pushed to the forefront, unlike a DC, you know, sexist, bad movies, all that good stuff. But Guardians of the Galaxy is regular Guardians of the Galaxy movie. For me, it wasn't good, it wasn't bad. It's just a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Like they make decent movies. Ant-Man, like Ray said, bottom of the barrel. Bottom of the barrel. It played its part. So I thought that one of the arcs was going to be Jonathan Majors and Kang when he came in Loki, the TV series. I was like, okay, they got something planned for him. And then I didn't see in the movie theater the end credits, and I saw it on Disney Plus, and I was like, oh, they're going to build this whole scenario around him, and it blew up in their face. Now, my thing is, did his girl accuse him of something? Because once I saw it, I didn't get into the whole thing. But did his girl accuse him of something?
we're gonna talk about that. We'll get
No, but I'm
back
just
to
asking. I know, but I'm just asking.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's all I wanted to know because
yeah.
when
And a whole bunch of other stuff.
right, but
Yeah, a whole
when I
bunch of
saw
other
it and then I looked and saw what the chick looked like, then I was like, yeah, dude, you effed up. You got all this taken down because of that. Ugh.
Wow.
Ugh.
Wow.
I mean,
She wasn't. She
Do
wasn't.
do
she
you,
wasn't.
do you not vet your guests, Suge?
Hey, Suge. She was not even a rusty nickel. Ugh.
I mean, at least Zion Williams. Zion Williams had. At least that girl looked good. I don't know if you guys seen
Did
the
she
tweet.
really?
All right, so bring it back to the Marvel talk.
What's up, Marcus? Phase 5 sucked, to be honest. I think Chadwick was going to be the new Phase, but we lost his great talent. I do actually.
We're two movies in, though.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, but
don't let your racism shine so early, okay? Hold it back to the end of the show.
But no. I will agree. I do think that Chadwick was going to be one of the faces. Like you were saying, Marcus was saying in his other comment, too many face changes. Chris Hemsworth, Thor, Chris Evans, Captain America, and Tony Stark, Iron Man were those three. They were those three
Constance.
main constants, you know. And so when they passed on, I think it's hard for people to kind of grasp who's going to take the reins of that, because we have been the only one. That's all we've known. You know, that's all we've known as the main characters. You know, the steady have always been there. Now we're in the unknown. So who is it going to be? We thought it was going to be okay. Chadwick was guaranteed going to be one of them. He passed away. Is it Tom Holland? Is it Tom Holland Spider-Man? Is it Hiddleston with Loki? Is it Chris Hemsworth? Does he want to play Thor again? You know, is it Blade? Is it Ant-Man? Is it there's all these characters, and who's going to take the reins as the next big three? And I agree with you there, Hendo. It's kind of it's kind of like, well, where are we at with this? So I do agree with you there. Buck, how are you feeling about Phase 5 so far?
I think it's too early to tell. And I think we're 2 movies in. There's like 6 total movies. I thought Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was decent. Wasn't awful. Wasn't amazing. I think people were expecting it to be a whole lot better than it was. When they originally wrote the movie and shot the movie, they weren't planning on the whole next 2 phases being set around Kang and Jonathan Majors. But when they were filming it and then they saw what he did in Loki, they kind of made a change, because they weren't. I think the plan was him for just a couple of movies. I think Guardians 3 is the best MCU movie since Endgame. I think the Guardians trilogy might be one of the best inside the MCU. I think it is on the level of the Captain America trilogy. I think all 3 movies are spectacular. The fact that we were able to care about a bunch of unknowns, a bunch of nobodies, is a great job by James Gunn.
Okay, I mean, I do agree with you that what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy 100% is spectacular. They did make us care about those characters. I would say I kind of agree with you about that, about them being one of the best trilogies in Marvel. Had Chadwick not passed away, I think that would have probably been the number 2 or maybe even number 1 ahead of Captain America trilogies, because that movie Wakanda Forever would have been a different movie. You would have had a whole different movie had Chadwick not passed away. But I understand where you're coming from. I do like what I'm seeing for Phase 5, and I do agree with you that it's a little too early to kind of be like, what is this, a bad phase? Is it a good phase? I don't want to say this, but it kind of feels like it kind of feels like a filler phase. Like it's a filler for me till we get to the next phase, which has all the meat. But it doesn't mean that we haven't seen good stuff. I actually personally liked Quantumania. I liked it a lot. I love what Majors did. It sucks what happened to him. It just sucks in the situation. Well, it sucks that the situation happened. It sucks that the situation happened.
You mean it sucks that he's a piece of shit? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean,
saying that.
I think people forgot how long it took to build up to Infinity War, and they're still riding that high from those movies. So they think everything should be at that level. And people have to forget, we built up to that point. We built 10 years up to that point.
But
we're 2 movies into a 6-movie phase.
But they built 10 years of awesome up to that movie, up to that instance.
Oh, it was not 10 years of awesome.
Not everything.
Yeah, there wasn't
everything.
Yeah, everything.
Not
Was,
everything.
not everything
it was 10
was
years awesome though. Oh, it was though. They made 10 movies.
Some great storytelling along the 10 years. Yes, absolutely.
But
not everything was awesome.
Not everything was awesome, but also fit together. But then when they got to the end, you go back
Thor,
and look at
Dark World. Terrible.
Well, yeah, but you go back and look at.
You know what that is? Never mind. I'm sorry.
But no, you go back and look at Endgame and how much Endgame made Dark World a lot better.
No, it
you
didn't.
know, then
No, it did
absolutely
not.
it did. If you go
No,
back,
it-
It made Age of
I think-
Ultron better. Yes, it made
No,
Age of
it made-
Ultron better.
It made
did
Dark
not.
World better too.
No, you can take
Especially-
out Thor: The Dark World, and
No,
literally
because then you lose the connection with Thor and his mother and how he redeemed himself in that movie in Endgame. So no, it doesn't. You can't
That's
take
it's
out
still the
every
worst
movie.
movie in the MCU. Thor:
That
The
could've been
Dark
a
World is
filler
the
story.
worst movie.
I don't
in
think
the
so.
MCU.
Like,
I
it
don't
doesn't make those better movies. Those movies still sucked. Like you might understand parts of the story more, but the movies were still garbage.
I like Dark World. I didn't have a problem with it.
I know you
Wasn't-
like everything, Suge. You're the opposite of Hendo. He hates everything. You like
I
everything. That's why you're
love
both here.
everything.
It's cool.
I mean,
Rodney,
the
how did
Hulk movies
you
weren't
see
that great either.
Who?
The Hulk movies weren't that great either.
I mean,
Yeah,
they,
Hulk
first of all,
we
they
had
started-
one.
they started-
Actually,
they
we
started
had
it all.
one in
Right.
inside the MCU.
Either one.
I mean,
And
they
it was
started
decent.
all.
It
Of
was
course
better than
they-
Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I think pretty
Okay,
much everything's better than that.
What about the original Blade? Because that's what started everything. Without the original Blade, we
It
would
actually
have
didn't.
none of this.
Actually, that it didn't, because actually Marvel did not produce Blade. That movie was
I think his
No.
point was that it was the first like.
It's
big
not the
time.
MCU,
Listen, so-
but it's
No,
Marvel.
no.
Yes.
But what happened was, if they had not have made Blade, they would not have the money that they have now to make any of this. They were about to go bankrupt and not
It had-
even be a company.
Blade had nothing to do with Marvel. Marvel was not producing that movie. It was just a
So did you hear what I just said? If they did not do Blade, we would not have Marvel right now.
no. If they had
Do your
not
research.
done
You want to
Iron
bet?
Man-
Do you want to bet?
They're-
You wanna put
Marvel
money on
had
this?
to sell
You
the
know.
rights. Yes.
Do you wanna put
to
the money on
get
this?
money. They made
Blade?
Blade.
You want to put money on this?
Yes.
You want to put money on this? That's all I'm
Put
asking.
money on what?
You
put money
telling
on
me
what?
it had nothing to do with none of this? Yes, it did.
No,
without
it didn't.
Without Blade, we would not have.
When
any
did
of
Blade
these
come
movies.
out? When did Blade come out?
1998.
When
I'm not sure.
Brandon?
1998.
When did Iron Man come out?
See, this is what Suge's getting confused on. We're not talking. He's not talking.
When did
Marvel
Iron-
Studios.
can-
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Can you-
He's
Move on.
talking
Can you?
more company
Can you?
of
No.
Marvel.
We're not going to
Move
jump
on.
over this. I'm asking you a question. When did Iron Man come out?
I don't
2008.
know. Was it 2000?
2008. That's a 10-year gap. Blade did not save Marvel. Blade was a Marvel property, yes, but Blade, Blade had nothing to do with later on Marvel being successful.
Okay.
Blade was not
Sure,
even
sure.
part.
Move on.
What?
Move on.
I don't think he's saying that it had to do with Marvel being successful and making the other movies. I think what he's saying is the financing from Blade enabled them to finance the future movies.
Thank you. Because
I
they were
think
going out of business.
that's all he's saying.
They were
How-
going to go
how-
out of business.
That's
Marvel-
why they
because they
sold the
were
rights
they were
to
running out
X-Men
of funds.
and Spider-Man.
Yeah, they were running
Marvel-
out of funds, and the Blade movie gave them what they needed to be able to produce in the
didn't-
future of the studio.
Marvel didn't produce it though. That's what you're not understanding.
No,
It was
but
just a
the
He's
company-
not saying that they produced it. You say
Not-
they
not
sold
Marvel.
the rights, and that money kept them afloat.
It didn't keep them afloat.
Okay, let's move on.
Because they sold
Move on,
everything.
Move on. All five.
And
all four
they're
wrong.
still here because of it. That's
All
No,
four wrong.
they're
All
here.
four
They're here
wrong.
because
Right.
they
Move
couldn't.
on,
They
move
could
on.
not sell. They could not sell Iron Man. So then they decided to make an Iron Man movie, which then kicked off the MCU.
Which
Blade.
wouldn't have happened if they didn't sell the rights and they went out of business.
So if that's the case, then what happened with Fantastic Four that came out before Iron Man? Those movies that had two movies, and those were not good movies, right? But yet they were still made. Blade has nothing to do with the MCU, not the old Blade. Has nothing to do with the MCU. People keep saying that like as if Blade saved the MCU. It didn't do that. All Blade did was show studios that comic book movies worked. Marvel made
He's
no
not saying
money.
the MCU. He's
I
saying
wonder why
just
people keep
Marvel
saying that.
Entertainment. Had they not
Marvel,
made that movie,
they were not part of Blade. Do you guys not get that? Like,
You know,
is that not really-
you're not getting it, Suge. Nobody is saying that Marvel made that movie. No one's saying that.
So how would Blade affect a movie from
Because
Disney
if
later?
they didn't sell the rights to Blade, they would have
Mhm.
gone out of business.
They did go out of business, they couldn't sell Iron Man. Nobody would want to buy Iron Man.
When did they go out of business?
They bankrupt like in 2000 or no, not 2000. When Blade came out, like before Blade came out, I think. That's why they sold a lot of their rights to a lot of their properties. That's why.
And
That's
then
why we're
what
having
happened
this.
when they sold the rights to the properties.
Mhm.
I said, what happened when they sold the rights to their properties?
What do you mean?
What happened when they sold the rights to their properties?
They no longer own those properties. Why do you think the
Right,
X-Men
but what did they have instead? Should
They had Iron Man.
properties? They had money, is what they had.
Yeah, but
That's the whole point. But I'm not sure why Handel brought it up because, God damn it, we need to move on.
Well, no, because this is like a dumb argument that people try to bring up. It has nothing to do with it.
Argument. So
Yes.
everybody else is wrong and you're right, and now it's a
I'm not
dumb
saying-
argument. You're telling all of us that we're wrong. That's what you've been saying for the last
Sure,
5
I am.
minutes.
Yeah,
we're all
that's what I'm
wrong
saying.
and you're right, and now it's
Yes.
a dumb argument. I said move on 10 minutes ago because we know how you.
Well, then,
operate.
but you brought it up, and I was telling.
I didn't even get to give my opinion on Phase 5 yet.
That is
but,
true.
I mean,
That is true.
go off, host.
Right.
No, it's okay. Go give you. I was trying to get you to get your opinion on Phase 5, Ronnie. Go ahead.
Garbage. No, I really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought that was an excellent movie. I don't agree that the whole trilogy was good. I didn't really care for the second one. The first one was pretty good, but this was the best of the three to me by far. Ant-Man was trash. Like I think it was a mistake, a major mistake to try to introduce Kang in a movie with Ant-Man, which is, that character is just comedic relief, really. He's a side character, and injecting Kang into that, you had a character who's much more serious, much more menacing than really belongs in an Ant-Man movie. And then Ant-Man beat him in a fist fight, and that was the end, and it was
Yeah,
so
I
didn't enjoy any of that. But outside of that, I'm really excited for the Marvels. And to Brandon's point, it's very, very early on. I think people do remember the end of the previous arc, not the beginning, right? You weren't really all that excited for Iron Man and Iron Man 2 and all that. You got excited when they started tying everything together and all those arcs developed and you could see where it was going. And we're not at that point yet.
All right, so back to Blade. No, it's fine. Because I just want to prove Hendo wrong. Mr. Garcia says Marvel went bankrupt in 1996. Blade came out in 1998, and then the next Iron Man movie came out in 2008.
It's amazing how you skipped the comment from Jose 2 before that. It's amazing how you just went right to that one.
Put money on it?
Before. Never mind,
Blade 3 came out.
Never mind, sir. Never mind, sir. Never mind, sir. Never
One
mind.
more month. There you go.
There you go.
Blade paved the way for the MCU. No, did it? Iron
Okay,
Man.
right. Everybody's wrong but you. Once
Blade
again.
paid the road for every superhero movie, every comic book movie. Had
What's
Blade
up, Brett?
tank?
Was there not comic book movies before 2000 or 1998?
They're all
And what did
trash.
most people think of them? Dog shit.
But they were still.
Except for Meteor Man.
But
Meteor
they were
Man.
Meteor
still
Man.
comic book
Wait.
movies. But they were still comic books, right?
What are
Yeah, I
you
ain't gonna
doing?
sit here and act like Blank Man didn't happen.
Blake Man was a great
Absolutely, Rich. Absolutely.
Blade Man was a great movie
Fucking
Yeah, I ain't gonna do that.
because there was a Captain America movie before Captain America, before Blade. There were movies. So
but
okay,
they were all
like-
but they were all terrible.
doesn't matter if they're terrible. They
It
were
does
still
matter
here
if they're
before
terrible.
that.
That
No, they
is
don't.
yes. It does.
And hence them going bankrupt.
Well, they went bankrupt also because of comics.
Right. Also, I get that, but
It was the whole
going
company. It
bankrupt.
wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't
No,
the
right,
movie
right.
section. It was the whole company.
Right. But then a movie comes along that does fairly well, and now we're back in business.
But
you don't see the correlation.
But hold
you
on.
don't see the correlation. with that, do you?
Okay, but if they're back in business, how long did it take them to make another movie then?
Agreed, Jay.
Where you
I
at,
mean-
Jay?
How long did it take them to make another movie, Hendo?
Oh, I'm sorry. So you mean to tell me that they sold the rights, they did all these things, and now I'm just supposed to go from being broke to having money again and just shelling out money to make more movies immediately? That's how that works.
They
That's how
did.
business
Well,
goes?
because they made Fantastic Four, and guess what happened?
Right.
Movies weren't good.
No,
Right.
all right. That is a big jump because Blade,
How is that a big jump?
X-Men, and Spider-Man were all before Fantastic Four.
Yes, X-Men who belonged to Fox, Spider-Man who belonged to Sony.
because they had to
So-
sell the rights
so-
because they were going to go bankrupt.
because they sold it.
Yes,
Let's
which
move on.
we're-
Let's move on. Let's move on. Please, let's move on. Please.
It's just funny when Hendo's wrong. He
When
just-
I'm wrong, bruh, everybody and their mother is
Wrong.
telling you that you're wrong, but you still want to argue the fact. Okay, Suge, you're
The-
right. You're right about
Still,
this whole thing.
the
Once
masterpiece
we-
is still Batman Robin.
you are all right, and even though we have the internet to prove all of this, you're right, Suge. Let's move on.
Spawn was dog, bull, horse, cow. You get my point. Spawn was a great movie.
Oh,
Where you
fuck.
where
Michael J.
you
White.
at, Jay?
Jay, you supposed to be in here.
Yes, Fantastic Four.
On Fox, I believe so.
Can you talk about how that Fantastic Four reboot that they tried, because it was 3 Fantastic
That
Four
was garbage.
That Fantastic
Yes.
Four reboot was the worst. Well, I'm sorry, the second worst movie ever made because of Michael B. Jordan.
Oh
You just
man,
hate,
Yeah.
you just hate
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan.
You can't
don't
put
you?
it all on
I don't
him.
hate. I
I
don't
mean,
hate Michael B. Jordan.
he's
I'm
good.
saying he
He's
can't act. I don't hate him at all. I think he's very likable.
Apparently
that
not.
movie,
He just
that
can't.
movie
Act.
was very bad.
Again,
Thank God they
Keanu
didn't
Reeves
ruin it.
can't act, but he's very likable.
This is true.
It's fine.
This is true.
And it's not on me anyway. Look who has him in his background, just looping. That's why I thought of it. Everything is Hendo's fault.
It really is.
It's a recurring theme.
It really is. All right. Dealing with my kids throwing a tantrum and typing with my left hand. Yay me.
You know why they throwing a tantrum? Because they ain't on camera.
Facts. It's always about
that could be it.
I don't think the first one was-
Entertain 45. I can't believe any of the Fantastic Four are even a little good. How do you mess that up? I believe the first Fantastic Four was okay. It wasn't great. Second one, they totally screwed that up. It was the Silver Surfer, one of the most
He
powerful
ruined the Silver
characters,
Surfer.
and they ruined it.
They screwed
Ruined
that
it.
up.
You
Ruined it.
can't- you messed with the
And
Silver
then
Surfer.
obviously the one that came out with Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan. I don't know what they tried to do with that one. They multi-dimensional travel, something. I have no idea.
How did they ruin the Silver Surfer?
Silver Surfer is one of the most powerful comic. He's like on a level like close to Galactus
Mhm.
almost.
I am.
And
I am
they just did him dirt. Like he got beat by
They dumbed down his powers.
Ray.
Yeah, no,
dumbed down his
but
power.
you have to do that in movies because comic book stories are absolutely ridiculous and they would look stupid on a big screen. So like they didn't ruin Silver Surfer, they put
I
him
just-
in the movie
I just- he
as
just-
you do comic characters.
They just messed up the script. The Fantastic Four.
Well, I mean, but not
will
only
never
that,
be
the
a good
story didn't make sense.
Yeah.
The fact Galactus was a eating cloud, like that was stupid.
I mean, it's gonna look stupid either way.
No,
In the
Galactus is this big ass dude. Like you should have just done it like that. Like
And they
They
had
just messed
Silver
it up.
Surfer prepping things for him. That's it. That's
well, no,
what you
that's
use
actually
for.
well, that's actually part of his storyline. Is he does
Yeah, I know that, but
he's a
that's
hero.
all he did in the movie, though. That he did nothing else in the
He's a
movie.
gopher.
Like he did nothing else in the movie.
He's a prep cook.
He did that and then sacrificed himself at the end. That was it.
Silver Surfer should have had a movie right after Terminator 2. All right, let's go into Phase 6, which is these are the possible movies that we will be getting. Now, the problem is, the Kang Dynasty. To have two Avengers movies is going to be interesting with the Secret Wars, which is a whole. If you know comic books, Secret Wars is a big arc in the comics, so it's gonna be interesting how they do that. And then obviously Kang Dynasty. I think it was you, Bronny, that was saying how to introduce Kang. I think I had talked to Chris Lopez about this. That we thought Kang wasn't going to be the biggest baddie. We just thought he was going to be like almost like a Loki, and then we get to a big baddie. But like Brandon said, they kind of switched. They kind of changed that. What do you guys think about the lineup for Phase 6 if it sticks this way, or do you think that they need to move some things around?
I think they're missing a lot of X-Men, and so I'm significantly less excited.
I think X-Men's going to be part of Phase 7. Like they'll get introduced.
We can
And
hope.
we've already heard the mutant gene, things like that. But I don't think we'll actually get a full-fledged X-Men movie until Phase 7.
Yeah.
I think that, and we might even get some kind of hint at it in King Dynasty. I'll start with you, Rodney. You said that obviously the X-Men are missing. Is there anything you're looking forward to in that lineup, or something you just don't want to see?
Well, I had been looking forward to Kang. I think, unlike Michael B. Jordan, Jonathan Majors is a very talented actor, right? So I was very excited about that. But now, I don't, we obviously don't know where that's going, if he's still going to be there, what they're going to be doing with that. So, I mean, they've got a lot of work to do in terms of ramping up the excitement. Because, like you mentioned, it's not the same characters that which is fine. I mean, people dislike change, but you can change people's minds as long as you do, good movies, good series. But up until now, it's been a little shaky after Endgame. So, I'm looking forward to Deadpool 3 because I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So looking forward to seeing that. But outside of that, not really at this point. There's not really much I'm kind of excited about from the MCU.
No Fantastic Four for you?
No, God, no.
Gotcha. Mr. Hendo, what
Three
about
strikes
you?
on that one, man.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
close.
Man, like he
What
said,
about you, Hendo?
like he said, I only care about the X-Men right now. I know that in Miss Marvel, they hinted at bringing in mutants, and I'm just curious as to what they're going to do about that. Deadpool, always hilarious, and Wolverine might be my favorite superhero character. So them bringing him back in Deadpool, I can't wait for that. Fantastic Four, listen, if there is something that you're doing, you can't get it right the first several times, let it go. Let it go. Because apparently this is something we can't get right. The rest of them, to what Jose said, Wonder Man, nobody cares. Bring in something that we all care about. And I just think with the Jonathan Majors thing, I should have vetted him.
Bring in this guy.
They should have
Who's
vetted
that?
him.
It's Wolverine. It's going
Wolverine.
on the screen.
It's
So,
a
Oh,
little,
they are bringing
yes,
Wolverine. I would say bring in
not
Ghost Rider.
fast enough.
Ghost Rider. I've never gotten
I
to
love
Ghost Rider movies. I guess maybe because it was Nicolas Cage, but I never got into those.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but you could do so much with
Nicolas Cage hate now.
Yeah, that's another one that can't act. He's another person that can't act. Him and Kevin Costner, they can't act, but they're not like him.
I'm
How
not
dare
going to argue the acting part. I'm not going to. But Nicolas Cage is very likable. Nicolas Cage is hilarious.
Is he?
Yes.
Is he?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna sit back and wait to see what Marvel has to bring about. I especially love the TV series, Secret Wars. That they could do something with that. I just want to know where they're going to go with it. I want to see Loki. When are they bringing back Loki Part 2?
That's later this year.
Yeah, that's what
I think we're gonna get a lot of our answered about what they're gonna do with the Kane character there.
Yeah, because listen, and I hate to say, listen, whatever tragedy happens, but why do y'all wait till he gets super famous and put in the spotlight to want to tear this man down? If he was a terrible person before, should have been brought to light then. You know what I mean? Nobody should have to wait for a Rusty Penny to jump in and mess up this man's career.
Well, nobody messed up his career but him.
I mean, he did. I mean, if he did it, I haven't followed the case, but if he did it, hey.
Apparently it was out about him, just not public knowledge. But
real quick, I don't
about him
real quick. I don't appreciate you guys giving my stream to other people to bring them in just out of nowhere.
Right?
I know that ain't who I think it is.
It's got to be Jose. I knew it.
What is going on?
Somebody sold me the link at a swap meet.
You know what? I would not be surprised. What's going on, Jose? How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm gonna be quick because I'm out running errands. But you guys are struggling a little bit. Okay, I'm just here to help you out. Okay. First of all, Wonder Man. You can cut that. All right. Nova, don't care. All right, don't care about Nova. Now, personally, I like Doctor Strange, but we don't need a third movie.
We don't.
That can go. Okay. Here's what Marvel needs. they put out a lot of movies. They're trying to introduce a lot of people, a lot of new people, right? They've never had a villain movie. Okay. And this is a perfect time to do Doctor Doom.
I like it. I like it.
I knew you appreciate that shit. Do a Doctor Doom movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then you can, if you're going to go into Fantastic Four, you can do a Doctor Doom movie, and at the end of that, you introduce Fantastic Four at the end of that movie, and then it goes right into their movie. So now you have the villain's perspective going into the hero's perspective, and how they clash and things like that. I actually agree with you there. I think you're absolutely right there.
There you go. You're welcome.
There you go. Marvel, call up Jose. Lunch break hot take.
Call me Kevin Feige.
Call him. He'll get you taken care of. Jose, be safe out there in that crazy world of Baltimore. Real quick, plug your stuff real quick.
He's right there.
I know he's gonna do it, but you know he always forgets. He always forgets things. You know,
hey,
he forgets.
Look
he
at
forgets
that
old man. He forgets old man.
Check
gamers.
that out. Check that out. Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Every Wednesday night, LBHT show. You can find us. Just type in Lunch Break Hot Take. We will pop right up. That is at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT Show. I'll see y'all later.
Later, Jose.
All right, man.
Interesting. He forgot Ring King's podcast. I guess I thought I was the forgetful one.
And he forgot Old Man Gamers.
That's
Old
not
Man
bad.
Gamers is back. He said it.
Not
Listen, somebody was on the show the other day talking about Old Man Gamers.
Who?
You.
Says Old Man Gamers is back. What was I talking about? Old Man Gamers.
When we last did the show, was it Thursday?
What did I say about Old Man Gamers?
It escapes me, but you were saying something about Old Man Gamers being back.
Right.
Old Man
That's
Gamers
why.
being back. You know, us doing gaming and stuff.
Look
on
at-
there.
Look at- hey, look at-
Already about a game live stream. I do remember something about that. Yeah.
Look how hold up.
Times.
I just want to point this out. Look how serious it got. Big Reg put his glasses on.
Yeah.
That means he just turned it on. He can't. He's like, oh, it's about to get serious.
No, that has everything to do with the computer light and not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Big Reg, so tell me your thoughts. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandon.
No. Go ahead, Reg.
Okay. Big Reg, give me your thoughts on what you want to see from Phase 6, what you're looking forward to, what you're not looking forward to. Give us an idea like Jose had.
I'm going to say I'm looking forward to Secret Wars just because there's so much they can do with that. Hopefully introduce some mutants as well. And Deadpool, I mean, you got Hugh Jackman's going to be in it. You got to be ready for that. The way that dude plays Wolverine is absolutely amazing. And hopefully it brings in, because you're bringing in Hugh, hopefully a few more of the X-Men can end up in the movie as well. Rather than,
Can I say one thing?
Colossus.
Can I say one thing, Big Reg? What if this is the biggest troll ever, and literally Hugh Jackman is in the movie for 2 seconds in the beginning of the movie and then dies?
Or the end credits.
Or the end credits.
Oh,
no, I don't
man.
think it's gonna be the end credits. I think it's gonna be
heartbreaking.
the beginning of the movie. My theory is it's gonna be the beginning of the movie, and then we're gonna get introduced to the new Wolverine for the MCU. But he's only gonna be in it for 5 minutes of the movie. Like it's a quick. He's there, gets killed, or they make a joke out of it where he's like, "I'm not doing this anymore," and then we get the new Wolverine for the MCU.
That would be heartbreaking, to be honest with you. And it would probably, depending on how the rest of the movie goes, it'll probably make the movie a big letdown. Because I think 90% of the people going to see that movie are going for Hugh Jackman because Deadpool 2 was not that great. So why would we want to see a third one? And
You like Deadpool 2?
It was
not really. It was all right. It wasn't great to me. So but Hugh's the reason why everybody's looking forward to it now. If you wouldn't have told me Hugh was going to be in it, I don't think anybody'd be looking forward to it. Other than, hey, are they going to bring in mutants now?
I don't know. Ryan
Because
Reynolds is
aside
like
from
that.
that, oh yeah, no, he's absolutely a likable guy. I think he's hilarious in the part. I think he's freaking hilarious in the part, but that doesn't make the movie very good.
No, it wasn't as good as the first one for sure, but I still enjoyed it. And
yeah, I enjoyed the first one. I like the first one.
Even if Hugh Jackman wasn't in it, I would look forward to a third Deadpool. Obviously not as much for sure. But I mean, I'd still want to see it.
Yeah, I can agree with. I'd go to the movies and still and watch it, but I wouldn't have the excitement for it like I do now. You know, it just brings out a different excitement knowing that he's going to be in it because you feel there's so much more now you can do with it.
Facts.
Other than
Justin.
that, Kang, you know, with all that stuff going on, that kind of takes away the lackluster from that because we don't know what's going to happen now. So you're kind of looking at it. It's a big mystery now. You don't know what's going to happen. Other than that, I agree with Jose. Everything else can get scratched because it really means nothing to me. You can even give the Fantastic Four a boot for me. Worst group Marvel's ever had, and I'll never change my mind on that.
Disrespectful.
I've never. You got a dude made of rocks, okay? One that can stretch. He's smart and he can stretch. And you got a invisible girl and Mr. Flame On himself. They're useless. They get destroyed by anybody.
First of all, Johnny Blaze ain't a damn thing changed is one of the hottest lines ever. But yeah,
that's facts.
As a whole, they're just garbage. They're all garbage.
Big Reg, you know, this was the argument me and Big Reg were getting into the other day, where he just thinks everybody can get beat by anybody. Like, you know, there's a lot more to these characters.
If you look into the power of that Doom has, he should have destroyed the Fantastic Four easily. That's all I'm saying. Based off of what their powers are, he should have easily destroyed them. That's all I say.
But you're like, oh, he can just stretch. He can do more than that. Like he's got high level of intelligence. There's other things he can do that causes him
smartly.
Damn right. You damn right he does.
First of all, I only do intelligent stretches.
Right. He don't do them dumb stretches.
Right.
Real quick. Jay, he said he forgot about the book club.
That's right.
A Reg looking like a real passion, like with them glasses where the cross you be wearing.
Justin, I ain't got the cross on today.
He says, I don't see Hugh working out intensely for 2 minutes. Killing him off in 2 minutes is like John Connor dying in Terminator Dark Fate. They went absolutely crazy when they killed John Connor in the beginning of that movie. You want to talk about people getting absolutely pissed. It was
all 7 of them?
All 7 of them. Terminator is a great series.
It is a great series, but it's about 7 people who care about John Connor.
Wait a minute.
Apparently, it was more than that.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about the movie?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of them since the first one.
You haven't seen Terminator 2?
I might have seen that.
I've seen
but after that,
you
don't need to
see Terminator.
Anything after
it's Terminator 2 with that dude that I really don't like. What is his name? Jason Patrick? No, yes. Patrick. Something Patrick. The liquid dude.
Jason Patrick, yeah. He was that was Terminator 2, and it is one of the greatest movies ever.
Yeah, that's up.
Terminator 2 was good. I like Terminator 2.
Terminator 2 was great. It was like
I like Terminator 2.
3
was and I didn't watch it.
I'm saying the reason why I say that the thing about Wolverine is because of how they announced it. It was very strange because I thought they were messing around at first because when he walks by, it doesn't even look like Hugh Jackman. Yeah, but I thought they were just trolling us. Then they did the sit down, so I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, cool. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Big
I think
Red
it's going to be
bars.
I think it's going to be a big. I think he's going to be in it throughout the movie, and it's going to be a big story with him and Deadpool. But it's going to be something that's not connected to what's going on now because they've already said that they're not going to mess with what happened in Logan. And that Wolverine's dead. So it's going to, obviously it takes place before. So I think it's just going to be a kind of almost like a flashback story and kind of a one-off.
But they're not going to use the multiverse excuse like they do in a lot of stuff.
They could. Well, he has the time traveling thing at the end of Deadpool 2. He's able to time travel. He could go to a multiverse, things like that. We'll see. I think for me, and I don't think it's going to come now, but what I'm looking for, if they ever introduce it, is the Dark Avengers, which are the alternate of the Avengers. So you have Wolverine, which is actually his son playing him. Iron Patriot, which is Norman Osborn. There is a version of Thor. Who else is there? There's a lot of I forgot who's else part of that group. Venom, I think, is part of it, if I'm not mistaken. But I would like to see the Dark Avengers eventually coming around. Buck, what about you? What about Phase 6? What are you looking forward to? What are you not looking forward to?
Complete opposite of Reg. I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four, and I know Hendo brought it up saying, "Oh, they've tried it to us." First of all, Kevin Feige, his favorite characters is Fantastic Four. That's why they have not rushed it. He wants to get it right because they failed 3 times so far. He worked on the original Fantastic Four movies.
So you
I think these are going to be real. I'm not saying they're going to be phenomenal, like Infinity War level, but it will definitely be the best version of the Fantastic Four we've ever seen.
That ain't saying much.
lowest bar of all time.
First of all, Reed Richards is probably in the top 3 smartest characters in all of Marvel comics.
Well, how about Reed Richards write a script?
I saw Reed Richards get unraveled in about 10 seconds. And
did not.
I was being so respectful so far today.
Listen, I'm
you look like a goddamn dummy right there.
I'm a back Brandon on one thing.
I seen Reed Richards working at the office.
If they make the connection of Reed Richards to Kang and them being family, then Fantastic Four has a chance to go somewhere.
What do you mean?
But they have to make that connection early on.
But they are family.
I'm sorry. Listen, no. Stop. I'm sorry. We interrupted Buck. Buck was telling us his opinion on Face.
Okay, we'll go back to Big Reg. Go ahead, Buck.
But no, I think Fantastic Four is going to be really, really good. They're going to do Doctor Doom. You have to. It's the first movie, the first Fantastic Four movie in the MCU. He is their villain. They literally only have 2. They have Doctor Doom and Galactus. They don't really have anything else, so we know they're going to do Doctor Doom. I think who they cast as Doctor Doom is going to be just as important. And he's rumored of who the 4 are. I'm intrigued by. So I just have to wait to see how the story goes. But I think that's the one I'm most excited for because I love the Fantastic Four. They are Marvel's first family.
You know what I hate? First families. They say that about the Mannings in football too. I hate that shit.
And
you know who the first family is? The most popular characters. That's it. It ain't fantastic.
Put some respect on my boy Shang-Chi's name. That's all. Thanks for coming to my chat. Shang-Chi was very good. I had no problem with it.
It was better than all the Fantastic Four movies put together.
That is true.
And it wasn't even a good movie.
But again, that's not a high bar.
I mean, I like Shang-Chi, and I can't wait to see what they do. Obviously, they're bringing him along because his rings have something to do with God knows what. That was left out as a spoiler at the end of his movie. We kind of know that Kamala's I don't know what they called them.
The
Bengals.
The Bengals. Yeah. Thank you. The Bengals are connected somehow to also Kang, so we know those are going to intertwine. But we'll see what we go from here with that as far as Shang-Chi. But I like the action in that movie. I like the character, and the only thing is like cool. He's dope, but then what is he going to do against?
I believe the director of that movie is doing King Dynasty. I believe, if I remember.
I'll check it right now. But like, what is he going to do in a fight against King? Like, if he has the rings, that's a different story. But if he's just using his karate, kung fu,
well, yeah, I mean,
he gets broken in half. Well, I mean, at least they had something. Like Captain America had super strength. Like he doesn't have anything.
Yeah, but what are we going to do without it?
Yeah, but if we saw what he would do without it. He was a little, skinny. Looked like he had polio.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah,
what does Tony Stark do without his iron suit? Yeah. Writes checks.
He hooks
Banks
up
hot woman.
Yeah.
Who?
Tony Stark.
You're not talking about Gwyneth Paltrow, are you?
No, I'm just talking about.
Oh, wow! Wow!
Oh, I'm sorry. All of a sudden, if I have an opinion, it's offensive.
That is offensive.
You call that woman a
She was a moldy penny, not a rusty penny. She's not a rusty nickel. It's a moldy penny.
Big Reg, I want to go back to what you were saying. So, how would you like them to make the connection of Reed Richards and King? Because we know if you're a comic book fan that they are related generations down.
I was just saying that they should. I was just saying that they should because you got a lot of new fans that are in for just the cinematic part of it. A lot of people didn't follow the comics. You know what I mean? They picked up with all the movies and went from there. So there's a lot of people that may not know that. So I feel like it would be a little bit of a boost to the Fantastic Four movie if they make that connection. And it'll kind of weave them in with everything else, which is kind of what you want to do eventually anyway. So I was just saying if they make that connection in the MCU, it'll be a good way to go.
So you want to go from a -5 to a -4. Gotcha.
Yeah, essentially.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, listen, up is up, no matter how far you go.
They don't care. They don't care.
During the stream. But,
All right. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Brody?
I was just going to say, like, I don't think that going with, because, I'm one of those people that you're talking about. I don't really, I just watch the movies, and like the animated series and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, hey, Kang and Reed are related doesn't do anything for me. Right. Because, I look at the comics and I'm like, the comics are like a representation of Murphy's Law, right? Because you have these characters that are popular and you have to keep them going and you have to come up with new stories because you're not going to ditch Spider-Man, right? You're not going to ditch all the X-Men, all that. So it's just, what can we do now? Hey, that black dude, he's related to that white guy over there, just way back. It's just anything that you can put together, you will put together eventually in a comic because you have to keep churning out stories. That's why the comic book stories and the histories and everything are so ridiculous, which is why they have to cut so much stuff and change things around and streamline everything if you want to put it into a movie and put it in front of people who don't follow it. It's like soap operas, right? The storyline gets so long that it's nonsensical because you have to have an endpoint for a story. To make sense, and comics don't. So like stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying that they couldn't do it in a way that was meaningful, but just like it just doesn't really do anything for me right now. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
I mean, they could use it.
And that's
go ahead, Hendo.
And that's if you have a comic that's just written with one version, because there are some comics that you have 4 different versions to. So what arc do we follow? Do we follow this arc or this guy's arc or this other guy's arc? And I think that's why a lot of people didn't get into certain comic book versions. Like I looked at comics, but I damn sure wasn't reading no Fantastic Four comics. It's fucking horrible.
This is true, but
Yeah, I think.
But they could they can have it where they use Reed Richards to kind of intertwine Kang's backstory into it and how he came into power in the first place. Because you're kind of just picking up with him being all powerful right away. Whereas you can now start to weave in early on.
We got that backstory. We got that backstory in Loki. He talked about
it. But
you're picking up with 8 million different versions of Kang. Like there was a stadium full of Kang.
Yeah.
So it's
now.
You can't really tell
his
backstory. I'm trying.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Big Reg. But like we kind of got that in Loki. But I think if you want to distinguish Kang with Reed Richards, you pick out one character of Kang that is directly linked to Reed Richards. So that would probably be Iron Lad, which would be the most connected character to Reed Richards. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing at Bronny.
I didn't say anything.
You sure? I heard you whisper it.
I didn't say
What'd you say? What'd you say, Brody? Somebody tell me what he said.
He said, "Who the hell?" Well, so many words. Who the hell is that?
Oh, Ireland is Nathaniel Richards.
Okay, so, but once again, I'm gonna be with Brody. Who the hell is that?
Well, okay, so you remember in Loki? You saw who remains. Who remains?
Yeah.
That is technically Nathaniel Richards. That is a different version of him, but that's technically where he talks about we were looking for. I made contact with another version of me. Mm-hmm. That is Nathaniel Richards. what Nathaniel Richards is and as Iron Lad is a younger version of himself who comes to the past and almost becomes like an Iron Man version character. But he has the intellect and everything like that.
Do you hear how ridiculous that is?
It's great.
Right? No, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying you can't enjoy it, right? And if you've been following the comics all the time, and you read that story and it's cool, it's interesting, whatever. If you're somebody who hasn't read the comics, that sounded like gibberish. It sounds completely nonsensical, right? And what I'm saying is like you've already introduced Kang in Loki. You got Kang in Ant-Man, and then you saw all of those other Kangs, right? And all their ridiculous costumes. You can't have a backstory at this point because they're all different people. And it's like you haven't really introduced one as a main Kang, and hey, this is the guy who we're going to be following. Blah blah blah. You've introduced him as there's just 8 million versions of this guy, and we got to fight them all. Which is why I think it's going to be difficult to kind of weave a story through this.
So I agree. I agree with you, but I disagree with you because we just did it with Into the Spider-Verse. We introduced a bunch of versions of like one.
We don't know that yet because we haven't seen the other new one. So
you didn't introduce that many versions of Spider-Man.
Talking about the second.
Did we?
No, you didn't.
They introduced like every single character.
No.
They show people on screen, but what we actually got to see is different.
So in the first movie, you introduced like what, 5?
It was like 6.
5 or 6.
Yeah,
you
five.
go through and you show where they come from, who they are, and everything. And then in the second movie, you showed a bunch of different people. Now, obviously, I haven't finished the movie yet. Maybe they go super deep into all those storylines in the last 20 minutes. I don't know.
But you don't have to go super deep.
There.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't have to go super deep into all the Kangs. You just need to go into a couple of them.
That's what I'm saying.
The main ones,
right? But what I'm saying is that you haven't. You've introduced all of them, and you haven't said, "Hey, this is the main one. This is the main one." Whatever. Like you introduced the one who doesn't even call himself Kang. Who knows what's happening with him? You introduced this other one in Ant-Man. He got killed, and then you introduced all of the rest of them, or you showed all of the rest of them. So it's Kang is just kind of Kang is just kind of a faceless. He's just a villain. He's not like a specific.
Oh, he's a villain, all right. He's a villain.
I say you go and do the version of Jungle Fever parents Kang, and find out which one had Jungle Fever and switch them over, and we go on that arc and follow that narrative.
You want a series of 5 movies of how did Kang get that dark?
Facts.
Because I know we're joking and everything, but like Buck said earlier, the casting for Fantastic Four is rumored to be really close. If it's oh my god, now I can't forget the guy that did Star Wars, Adam Driver is Mr. Fantastic. Reed Richards. You're right. How did if it was light skinned, you'd be like, okay, yeah, he's Jonathan Majors is dark. So it's like, how did he get from Wonder Bread white to dark chocolate? Okay, like right. You're right. Actually, Hendo, that should be a good story because you know what, Hendo's onto something.
They did make Reed Richards black.
No, they didn't. They made Johnny.
They didn't do. I thought no. I thought in the alternate one they did.
No. Reed Richards was Miles Teller.
Not in the movie.
No, in the comics, he's saying.
No, I don't think ever. I don't think.
Also, it's thousands of years, so it's possible.
Oh, so what you're saying? He was his great ancestors were banking.
You're just saying it's just basic evolution.
So when you're saying it's thousands of years later, what you're really saying is that family connection is no connection at all.
Right.
What I'm saying is it's possible that down the line he hooks up with a black chick and it keeps happening and eventually
because by that time
Brandon, I would have said Black Queen, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't have said it keeps happening like that, but whatever.
All right, Stephen King.
No, but that goes back to my original point. Like then you're it's not really any kind of connection.
Well, they are connected. They are connected in the comic books. They are family.
No, I
He is
understand
a-
that they're family.
He's
but
a
what I'm saying
descendant.
is
He's a
if
descendant.
it's thousands of years later, it's not like, hey, Grandpa Reed. Like
Right.
there's
No.
no connection there.
You mean as far as characters?
Yes, that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, there's no connection. No,
Right.
They're just he's a descendant of Reed
Right.
Richards. That's all it is. Yeah, I agree with you there.
And not a recent descendant.
Big Richards. Franklin Richards would just erase
He
him.
said years passed, and then he just decided to identify as African American.
No, his melanin kicked in. That's his superpower. It kicked in. It was like, bam. You know?
His defense against the sun.
And then his
he is all powerful, right?
And then his defense against the cops, his melanin goes away.
Oh wow.
Wow.
He could call upon it. Well, there's actually a character like that. There's an X-Men. I think it's Sunspot. He's a Brazilian. He's a black Brazilian who his superpower is he gets darker, and he I don't know the exact power, but it works by him getting darker, and then he can retract it and go back to being a lighter shade. That's actually I think he's X-Men. It's a Sunspot. I'll look up his power. But
that's
before
AKA we'll never see him in any movies. All right.
Actually, he's into movies. He's actually into movies.
Yeah, I think he's in Days of Future Past.
Yeah, he's in Days of Future Past, and he was just in the New Mutants movies. The New Mutants.
I saw
that movie.
And then
I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, but now he's supposed to come back. Well, that was a big controversy because people are saying, why is he not?
Thank you, Jose. that's just weird. That's just weird.
Hold up. Watch. Let me look up the power. Sunspot. I tell you, that's his.
Oh man,
that's his power.
Here come the cops, man. Do your thing. White.
His power is that he can absorb and charge solar power.
Yeah, and as he absorbs it, he gets darker.
That is not a power.
I think that's just visualization of him absorbing it, not a power.
I mean, that's a power because he can be like, it makes him powerful. Yeah, it makes him darker, makes him powerful.
That's not what Jose just said.
Black power.
That's two different
That's
things.
black power right there.
Black power.
That's black power right there.
Great time to point out that Suge is 25% African.
Facts.
He's
more African. He's more African than anything.
I don't know if y'all can see this, but this is him with his power. Super black.
Yeah. Super black.
And that's him without it. So you can't even see him. He's so light. So yeah, like I said, you ain't gonna see him again.
But was I lying though, Rodney? He goes from really dark.
You weren't lying, but you were wrong. That's not his power.
It is. He gets black power. What are you talking about?
It's a side effect of him using his power is that he turns all black.
Oh man,
is that a side effect or a blessing?
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so about Deadpool 3, I think we're gonna have a bunch of cameos in that movie.
What cameos do you think we're gonna get, Brandon?
I think we're getting everything from every Marvel adjacent. So like any cameo from someone inside the MCU to anything from Fantastic Four to Blade to Ghost Rider, just anything. Because I feel it's going to be very time travel centric.
Well, and what do you think the movie is gonna like? What is the main point of that Deadpool movie? What do you think is going to be the main point of it?
See that I don't even know where to begin on that. I do like how Sean Levy's doing it. Him and Ryan Reynolds have done pretty good last couple of movies together. So I'm pretty excited about that. But the whole thing with the writer's strike and Ryan Reynolds not being able to improv while on set has me a little worried. So I'm hoping the writer's strike ends sooner. Because not only will that affect this movie, but that affects really the rest of the MCU right now. They can't really develop any future movies until that, and then we're probably going to have a strike by the Screen Actors Guild because that's about to come up too. So we may not get these movies when we're supposed to.
Super Black should have a movie. I'd watch that over Wonder Man. Facts. I'm going to tell you what Deadpool 3 is going to be about. It's going to be about bringing Sunspot into the MCU. Just saying.
No.
What about you, Hendo? What are you hoping to see? How do you think it's going to affect the MCU?
I don't think that it
Do
is.
you think it's going to be rated R?
Of course it is. Have it
They
the last
already
two.
said it would be rated R. They said it
Why
would.
wouldn't you? You have Ryan Reynolds. This is Deadpool. Let them have fun and do what they need to do. I just hope that it brings more of the X-Men and the mutants into the MCU. That's my only wish.
Well, the reason I asked, do you think it's going to be rated R, is because it is Disney. They're under Disney now. So do you
Don't
think
make it
Disney's
They've
gonna-
done movies before.
But yeah, listen, you go with what works and leaving it rated R and letting them do certain things. If Disney feel that that's going to make them money, they're going to keep it. Ain't no need to dumb it down now.
No, I thought they already confirmed that it's going to be rated R.
I thought so too. I could be wrong.
I haven't seen anything. Big Reg, what about you, sir?
I'm thinking it's going to introduce some mutants, but I'm wondering if it's kind of going to introduce Deadpool back during the snap, and maybe that's how mutants got invented, so to speak, was during the snap. And I'm kind of hoping it leans towards that way. So then going forward, you got him in the rest of the MCU, and you kind of work some type of story out there. You get the X-Men and all that. But that I don't know for sure what they're gonna do. I mean, you never know when it comes to the Deadpool movies. I mean, you just know they're gonna be hilarious, and the plot is gonna be a little bit weird.
Silly. Yeah, it's gonna be silly.
Yeah.
I hope we do get to see some old characters come into the movie. But I hope we do get like I said, I think we're only gonna get Hugh Jackman for so long, but I hope we do kind of get like a buddy cop movie with Hugh and Deadpool running around the multiverse trying to figure out whatever, and then he gets stuck somewhere in like the MCU or wherever. Because we did kind of never mind, that's a spoiler for Spider-Verse. Yeah, I'm hoping that's what we're gonna get, but I don't know. As far as it affecting the MCU, I think it is going to affect the MCU because if this movie tanks, they'll never do another rated R nor another Deadpool movie, and if it does really well, I think possibly they'll do another movie, and they'll do another. Deadpool will be more consistent in movies. So I really believe this hinders on him being in any future movies. Like they might have him like in an Avengers movie but if we want him in multiple movies, this movie has to do really well. I agree with Rodney. The second movie I liked. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't better than the first one. I think the first one was just something that we were so excited for that it's hard to top it now.
My favorite
even though
rom-com
if
of all
you
time.
go back and watch it, it's not the greatest movie. Like there's some plot holes and things like that, but it was it was at that time we were so excited for it. We're like, hell yeah, can't wait for this.
And then he told
Yeah.
Colossus he was going to slap the bitch out of him.
That too. And
That was pretty.
the
good.
Juggernaut, and like I like, and in the part 2, Juggernaut talks about being Charles, his brother. He doesn't actually mention it. He doesn't mention Charles, but he says he talks about his brother, why he wears the helmet, which is come from the comic book. I like Cable. I like the way they did Cable, and Cable's one of my favorite characters. I just think that movie, there were some misfires in there. Not misses, just misfires. Like they could have, like the character, the villain in that movie, Russ or whatever his name was, the little kid. I think they could have done something a little better. Like it was just like, like, whatever. I like Domino in that movie, and people had a problem with that. Or why is Domino black? And then she ended up being one of the best parts of the movie. So, I think that was. I didn't like that they brought X-Force, and then they didn't really get to.
That was a
showcase
big
them
troll. I love
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
but that's why I'm
Yeah,
saying that's why I'm
absolutely.
worried about Wolverine, because they did that to us in that movie. They're like, "Oh, X-Force," and X-Force is one of my favorites, and then they killed them all.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
one of your favorites. It's not anybody else's favorite.
You didn't like X? You don't like X-Force, Brody?
They're
I don't,
okay.
well, one, I don't read comics, so whatever. But I'm just saying, like, they're not Wolverine, and they're not Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Like, they're not going to do that.
Is that all you care about, Hugh Jackman?
No, I'm saying if they kill off Wolverine in the first 2 minutes, every single person that goes to see that on day one is going to be like, they killed Wolverine in 2 minutes. Don't go see this movie.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they were wrong.
But what if they introduce a new Wolverine?
It doesn't matter.
That people want to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and that's what you sold. Like Red said, that's how you sold this movie. Was Hugh Jackman's back?
Because he's going to be in the marketing like crazy for this.
Exactly.
Well, I hope you guys are right. And if they troll us, I'm just gonna come back on here and say I was right, like I'm always at. Just saying.
Okay.
That never happens.
That always happens. Okay, Mr. Hendo. Any other thoughts you want to give on Marvel? Anything we missed? Anything that you want to bring up? I'll start with you, Brandon.
I think whoever they cast as Reed Richards, I think they're hoping to be the new face of the MCU. Because we don't have one right now. We do not have a face of the MCU because we lost. I mean, didn't lose. They just kind of wrapped up the characters for Captain America, Iron Man, most likely Thor. So they do need a new face to kind of have the entire MCU around. I think Reed Richards would be a good one to do. It just depends on who's cast. If it is Adam Driver, I think he would do a phenomenal job.
If it's not Adam Driver, who do you want cast?
I don't even know. It depends on, are we going like young, like we did with Miles Teller in that one? We going like 40s like we did with Ewan Gruffold in the first two Fantastic Four movies? It just depends on, are they already experienced as the Fantastic Four, or is it going to be an origin? Which I don't want it to be. We all know how they get their powers.
Okay. Very, very strong opinion there. Mr. Brodney, what about you, sir?
I forgot the question. So
Professional.
yeah, I could have just BS'd it, but I forgot what you asked him. Any last thoughts? Is what you asked him?
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay? He's not going to say, so that's cool.
I think any last thoughts on Marvel and what we talked about today?
Yeah, Darth. That's true to a point, but depending on your subject matter, like you can't make a G-rated Terminator movie. I don't care how great a director you are. It's going to be bad because that's not that's not what the content calls for, what the subject calls for. Right? Deadpool has, they've sold this Deadpool as extraordinarily vulgar. So to turn around and now Deadpool doesn't swear and there's no, there's not as much gore and all this stuff, it would be a disaster.
Yeah, very true.
I think in terms of last thoughts on the MCU, I don't know. I'm not real excited. I think they've made some bad choices. Starting up this next saga. I wanted to see what they do with Jonathan Majors before really,
Oh yeah.
kind of a decision either way.
Actually, before we leave, my bad. That was the other.
This is before we leave. This could be another 45 minutes.
No, it's not gonna be 40 minutes. As long as we don't let you talk, Brandon, we'll be good. It'll take like 15 minutes. Hendo, give us your thoughts on this situation. Or what do you know about this?
I was done.
Well, I know.
Well, no, keep going. I'm sorry, Brandon, keep going. My bad.
God damn.
I'm sorry. Because I remember Hendo had asked a question about this earlier. I'm
joking. I'm joking.
No, you're not.
Yes. Look, it depends, right? It depends on how if they want to be how into morals they are, I guess, is what it's going to depend on, right? Like, you look at the Baltimore Ravens. I was a fan of the Ravens, and they are like, oh, zero tolerance policy on any kind of violence against women. And I don't really think that's true. I think that's the thing that they say, right? Like, is it that with Disney? Are they just kind of quieting down and waiting for things to blow over? And then, hey, Jonathan Majors is back. Hey, he went to counseling and he apologized, whatever. But if it's or like DC with Ezra Miller,
That's
right?
my point.
They just say, hey, whatever, don't care. You're going to go see it because it's The Flash. They could do that, and Jonathan Majors is going to give great performances because he's a great actor.
Like Michael B. Jordan?
No, not at all like Michael B. Jordan. If they decide that no, this is too much, he's gone. I know that this guy probably wouldn't do it. I think that he said he doesn't want anything to do with Disney anymore. But I would like to see John Boyega. So I'm a big fan of John Boyega. But it's going to be it's going to be a huge deal how you cast that character if you decide to move on from Jonathan Majors. And I think it's probably too late to pivot story-wise, right? So I think what they're probably going to do is he apologized, he went to counseling, deal with it.
Okay. Big Reg.
X-Men. They're going to give you X-Men. If they can't solve this issue, if he doesn't come up clean, they're going to give you something that will distract you from it and then just let it ride out. It's too late to kind of pivot away from Kang because now you put so much focus on him. And you can't just erase him out of the Loki series because, well, he's plastered all over your network. So you have to kind of find a way to pivot the attention, right? So they probably come up with something, whether they use Deadpool to do it, Secret Wars, or something. They'll do something to insert in there to distract you while this whole thing goes down with Jonathan Majors till they figure out, hey, okay, he's clear. Now he's going to be in the movie. We could proceed as planned. If he's not clear, they have to distract you until they find their replacement Kang. Or get rid of Kang altogether and find something else to replace it, in which the only thing people would want is X-Men. So it's the whole major problem I have anyway is even if you do get him, how long are you going to ride Kang out for in the MCU anyway? You got to find your next major villain anyway. So it's hopefully he ends up clear and everything ends up okay. But if not, all they're going to do is try to pivot your attention. That's it.
Yeah, 100% agree. Mr. Brandon, what about you? What do you think?
Like Reg said, they can't really pivot from it. And like Brodney said, he is a major focus in Loki season 2. So he's going to be all over that. They would have had to reshot probably the entire series. So I don't think that's happening. I think, yeah, they're hoping people forget about it. So I don't know if they'll go X-Men. I think they may go Galactus. Could be one way for them to get people's attention off of it, because I think a lot of people are wanting Galactus, and we saw how Celestials work in the Eternals, and I could see Galactus looking a lot like that.
I think you're overestimating the amount of people who want to see Galactus.
I love it.
No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Galactus. I'm saying I think the majority of people don't know who Galactus is.
Oh, you mean like what happened with the Eternals and how nobody saw that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
So yeah,
Eternals was okay. I fell asleep during it, but it was all right.
Justin says they will probably recast like they did War Machine and Hulk. Noel Gonzalez says SDCC Marvel Phase 6 is almost ready. San Diego Comic-Con. I'm excited for that because if they show any, we always get the big hits there. We get the trailers, things like that. So I'm excited for that. I wish I could go to that, but they're always sold out. and it's annoying. Like I don't understand how that
They
thing
usually
sells out.
stream it live. If you watch them on YouTube, they usually stream it live.
Usually the you don't get to see the trailers
Yeah,
unless they're
they
public
black
ones.
out some stuff.
Yeah, there's some trailers that you don't get to see. Like there was I think it was the Superman versus Batman trailer. That one got leaked later, but you didn't get to see it, and so we'll see what happens.
That's right.
Mr.
DC
Hendo,
was trash anyway.
Yes,
do
sir.
not talk. Wow, disrespectful, Big Rich. What are your thoughts? You were asking this question earlier. You kind of heard from everybody. What are your thoughts on the Jonathan Majors, and what do you think they should do?
I don't think they should do anything. Just ride it out as is, because I'm a firm believer in due process. He hasn't been convicted of anything except for in the court of public opinion. So you ride it out and you keep going. And like what Rodney said with Ezra Miller, people know he's a dirtbag. Like this is not this is not guessing, speculation, conjecture. They know he's a dirtbag. And DC said, you know what, we're gonna make this movie and put it out regardless. So you do it with the white man.
Had to. They had
okay,
to.
I understand it, but you do it with the white man with a less successful franchise. Why not do it with the black man that has not been convicted?
Because they've already filmed the movie, $250+ million worth. They were not going to eat that money.
They've already released stuff with Jonathan Majors as Kang.
So
Not
what's the
just
difference?
filmed it.
No,
Right.
what I'm
'Cause
saying
we-
is they would
we
probably
seen
leave
that
him
they,
in for Loki, but like maybe, like we've been discussing, maybe recast or pivot
Why?
or the
But why?
Avengers movie.
But why? He hasn't been convicted of anything. He's been accused.
He's been-
Yeah,
take him
but
out.
to be
For the
fair
public
though,
opinion.
I'm
not saying I agree with it.
Conviction on things like that, and the justice system in this country is a whole different argument. I mean, Greg Hardy hasn't been convicted of anything.
Shit, that's true.
Oh man,
That's true.
Why
But,
don't you let him back in the league?
but yeah, no, that's not do it. But yeah, you just move forward and see what happens. Like recast it for what? You go forward. Look, same thing happened with Michael Vick when he came back playing NFL. They was like, oh, Peter was like, oh, we're not going to see this animal killer, blah 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 blah. He started winning games with the Eagles, and guess what happened? The
Peter
fans
still
came.
didn't go.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
But the
Hey,
millions of other people paid attention. Still paid
Hey,
attention.
he came to the Steelers, and people were like, "We are boycotting the Steelers." They ain't boycott.
They got nothing. And listen, if the movies are strong enough, it doesn't matter what capacity they have Jonathan Majors in. People are going to see it. If the movie's strong enough, listen, entertainment most times outweighs everything. Cancel culture and these younger people,
Not a
they'll
thing.
make noise and they'll sit back and, oh, how dare you? We're not going to go see the movie. But when those reviews start coming out and people are like, oh, this ties together this movie and this movie, they're going to flock.
That's because cancel.
Look at-
Same thing
look-
happened with the Harry Potter game. Everyone's like, let's boycott because of J.K. Rowling. The game was super successful.
Yeah.
Well, look at Flash. I mean, Flash, it's literally getting the most positive reviews of a DC movie, and people are like,
That's not
yeah, I'm gonna
hard.
go see it.
That's not hard shit.
But it's also super
make horrible.
popular. Super popular or super successful only takes a fraction of the intended audience. So every single person who said I'm boycotting this game or I'm boycotting this movie could go ahead and do that, and it can still be incredibly successful.
This is true. Except if you're DC, because they don't have that many fans watching live action movies.
Why are you being
Actually,
so?
they do. They do.
They really
Really?
don't. That's why their movies bomb so much. And they're banking so much on Flash right now. Because how many times do you have to fucking redo Justice League to try to justify the numbers that you made for it?
It didn't redo it. It was just somebody had a different version of it.
That's my point. That's like
Well,
me coming out.
they did
That's like,
honest-
on that.
that's like me coming out with a
Yeah.
record and it doesn't do well. So I make 3 remixes to it and I still didn't sell. It's not successful.
They did redo Justice League to an extent, and it was absolute garbage.
All
The Snyder
3
one?
times.
Yeah.
All of
terrible.
It's better than the Justice League, but that's really not that hard. That one was pure dog shit.
And nah,
them. I mean,
no, it
Batman
wasn't.
versus Superman. Any of them. All of them were hot garbage.
It wasn't better because it was twice as long, and nobody needed that. Fucking
With the
music
same
video.
footage.
5-minute slow motion scene of dude playing
I'll
football
take,
before he got his
I'll
powers.
take Fantastic Four over Justice League.
There was
And that's saying a
one
lot.
scene. There was one scene out of the entire DC movie thing that was worth it, and that was when Superman was bad and they were trying to fight him, and he fucked
Mhm.
all of them up, and it lasted about 15 seconds.
Yep. That was the best part.
But oh well. What is Suge looking up?
Somebody should
Wow.
say somebody should say Martha.
While he's hosting the show, what is Suge looking up?
I think going forward though, DC will be better.
They can't get any worse.
I know. That's why I said it's gonna be better.
I mean, that should be pretty easy.
But you have James Gunn. You have James Gunn taking over.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he's done very well.
Is he capable of making movies with a different tone?
Yeah, but
we will
there was
find
something
out
in here.
with the new
Actually,
Superman movie.
I think.
Are they rebooting Superman again?
Yes.
Yeah, he's rebooting it. Yeah. Bring me in Blue Marvel. I would love to see Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel is a very Blue Marvel is a, speaking of Superman, Blue Marvel is Superman, but just in Marvel. There's a couple different power sets, but Blue Marvel is one of the dopest characters in Marvel. And I wish we definitely get him. That would be tight. Because he's a very interesting character.
I don't know. Superman on screen, it's not.
It doesn't
good.
work. Yeah,
it's not great.
I mean,
which doesn't make sense to me. He's literally the same personality, character traits as Captain America. That's the one thing that's frustrating me.
Not the same powers.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is, a Boy Scout who's gonna do the right thing. The only difference is he has the superpower. So why not make the?
He also has no sense of humor. That's kind of part of it. He's like Superman's always had this. When it comes to the movies, I'm gonna say not the comic books, and when it comes to the movies, they've always cast his character almost as like this boring, like he can't even tell dad jokes character. He's way too serious. And it's just I don't know. For some reason, they just can't shoot him right, and it's no fault of the Superman character himself, and it doesn't help when you have Shazam and Black Adam, who are essentially the same damn person. When you get down to the skin and bones of who their characters are and their powers are they're too close in character.
They got the powers.
And I think that's creating a problem.
But they got the powers from the same person. And they were two horrible movies.
That's the problem.
The first one's not too bad. The second one was.
You telling me Shazam wasn't horrible?
The first Shazam was good.
Yeah. They came out with the second one?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they came out with the second one, yeah.
It's horrible. Dog doo-doo. Wow.
Yeah, he got a whole team now. He got a whole team. Yeah.
The brothers and sisters from the end of the first one?
Yeah.
Is Megan good in it?
No.
What they did stupid too, and Homeboy that says we're going to change the power structure of DC was they were supposed to get a cameo from Black Adam, and then Black Adam and he said no, and then Shazam was supposed to be a cameo in Black Adam, and he said no, and he wanted Superman, and Superman was going to come back, and yada yada yada, and now we got that whole stain of Black Adam everywhere.
Wasting my time.
You're telling me. All right. Enough of that.
Were you done, Brandon? Because I know you were giving you.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
I don't know.
Hendo always got a.
No, he was listen. He was saying something. He was interrupted. I'm asking him, was he finished?
You know, who was he interrupted by?
It doesn't matter. No, because I get on Brandon. I get on Brandon for interrupting people, and people are interrupting him. So I just think it's only fair, fair exchange.
That people interrupt him.
He's doing it. But Brandon's done very well this stream. Brandon's done very well.
There's a reason. There was a reason why.
No, it is not because of what you said. I planned on doing it before you said anything. I'm trying to be better.
Oh.
He actually did say he's like, I'm doing my best this stream.
None of
us are
perfect.
Right.
None of us are perfect, sure.
None of us
trying to be better.
Just trying to be better.
Exactly.
Unlike some people.
Exactly.
Who y'all talking about?
He knows. African Bombada. Thank you.
What?
What?
African Bombada is not trying to be better.
Yeah, he really isn't. He's still the same. He's still the same West Coast dude he's always been.
And child
All right,
molester.
before
Well,
we
not
get
that
out of
African
here,
Bombada. I was talking about the
Oh.
one on screen.
I thought you were talking about African Bombada.
why are
Not the
you
real one.
why are you talking about Big Reg like that?
Wow, that's
Wow.
Stop zooming in on people who don't want you to zoom in on them. I don't know why you didn't.
Rodney
think I was
did
gonna be
that
ready for
so
that.
fast.
I don't know. I don't know why
That
you
was
thought I wouldn't
crazy
be ready
quick.
for that.
Got some quick hands.
That was crazy quick.
I told you, African Bombada don't know how to conduct himself.
Are you? Disrespect. Why are you looking at me like that, Rodney? All right, before we get out of here,
handoff right now, and I know you're.
it really is. No, my hands are up. Everyone's hands got to be up. Before we get out of here, Hendo, any parting words, last thoughts, anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here? Because I think we got to get to you.
Oh no, I mean, listen, I feel a little bit better now about Marvel going forward having this conversation because, like I said before, when all those characters got ghost, I lost a little bit for Marvel. So hopefully they can redeem themselves because it's not much out here. I can't depend on DC to make anything except for animations. DC makes amazing animations. Just haven't seen any new ones recently, but yeah, hopefully they get it right. Like they've had enough time and they have enough experience to make better movies. So if the Fantastic Four does not work out this time, I say we kill it forever.
I said we save us all the trouble and kill it now.
I'm in agreement. But apparently they put effort and marketing into this next one.
They already killed Reed.
They did. I want Jack Ryan to continue with the role as Reed Richards.
That was never supposed to be serious, by the way. Kevin Feige said that was just a troll. That entire sequence was.
I mean, it's fine, but bring him back as Reed Richards. Like, who doesn't want Jack Ryan? Jim Halpert.
You know what you can't do? You can't put out movies and be like, this part's real and this part isn't.
That's true. You can believe this portion of it, but the rest of it, it's a joke.
All right, Mr. Brandon Buck, let people know where they can find you, follow you, and see all your content.
I have a YouTube channel, Arizona Armchair Sports, where I have a weekly live show discussing the latest in all Suns, Cardinals, and D-backs talk. I also have uploaded video game of all Arizona sports. So since baseball season right now, I have baseball videos. Once we get to football season, I'll have Madden videos. Those ones will be more entertaining because you'll see me I will rage. I rage when I play Madden. So it's going to be very entertaining. So just youtube.com/AZ_armchairpod. Don't forget to check it out.
Make sure to hit that follow. All their links will be in the description once I put them in. Mr. Big Reg, living big with Big Reg. Let the people know where they can find your great content and find you and follow you.
YouTube, TikTok, Living Big with Big Reg, and on Twitter, just BReg29. I'm on there having a good time, staying positive, just living life.
Yes, and you're make sure to check out his shorts. He does some great videos, just motivational speaking, and just trying to keep a positive beat on life, unlike some people I know, and just really try to inspire you to keep pushing through hard times. So shout out to Big Reg, appreciate you, man. Mr. Henderson, where can the people find your great content and follow you?
You can find me at the Rogue Pod on Instagram, Twitter. I don't mess with Twitch no more. Facebook and YouTube. You can also find me wherever you get your audio podcast from. I'm there as well. You can find me every Monday at 9 p.m. with Rodney, Jose, Chris Just Joking, OTR Mike, Coach Evans, Sips Tally on the Ravens Roundtable, 9 p.m. You can find me every Tuesday and Friday on my channel doing Intentional Grounding at 6 p.m. You can find me every Sunday evening at 8 doing the Ravens Roundup whenever the season starts. And hanging with Hendo on Saturday nights, just for the patrons.
Is there hanging here with Hendo tonight?
No, because I'm here, so I'm not doing
That's
that.
2 weeks in a row now.
Well, I'm here. When I wanted to do my thing, you told me no. Come here.
I mean,
You
we
didn't
could
say that you couldn't do it because you had to do Hanging with Hendo.
I mean, look at if you want, we could technically end this
No,
and then just keep it going and do Hanging with Hendo. I can just move you to the top. Boom, there you go. No, just like this. Like,
I'm good with that.
bam, Hanging with Hendo. Let's go.
I'm good with that.
How many Rogue Pod patrons are on screen? Because I say Hanging with Hendo tonight.
It's too late. It's supposed to be 8 o'clock.
It don't matter.
What else you got? You ain't got nothing else to do.
I
Shout out to
got
Hendo.
now. I want to go catch up on some Marvel stuff now. That's what I want to do.
What
Oh,
haven't you
sorry.
seen?
I've seen pretty much all of it, but
Then you're not catching up on anything, are you?
I missed out on something. I know I have.
You know what? He wants to go get something to eat, Bronny. So he's got to go outside and cut the weeds real quick. Don't you leave? You leave, Hendo. Oh wow! Wow! See,
No, he probably
can
has
joke
to go
with me.
finish this Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, I need to watch that. Actually, I was about to buy tickets to go to the movies to see it. Yeah, it
I
was.
thought you were about to do Hanging with Hendo.
I never said that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Show it's one at I can't catch the 9:30 show. There's
All right.
a show at 10 in
But
Owens
you
Mills.
too
And
old
since
for that. So.
and since Jose already plugged everything, we don't need Bronny. That's fine. Bronny plugged. Let everybody know where they can find you, where they can see your great content at.
On Lunch Break Hot Take, we do a live stream every Wednesday evening at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by the Overtime Show. This for patrons. Also on Ring Kings podcast, where we put out videos throughout the week, and then we live stream after big time boxing events. There's an event tonight. I'm not 100% sure that we're streaming, but I believe so. After the Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor fight. So definitely join us for that. And I did have two things that I wanted to say real quick before we leave, if that's all right.
Who's gonna stop you?
Directed at you,
Yeah,
should,
the
but go ahead and
Yeah,
take it
the
down. One, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, the Golden State Warriors are a potential landing spot for Chris Paul. So fuck you very much, Hendo. And number two,
Yes.
Blade saved Marvel, and I'm out.
Disrespectful.
So
Mother
disrespectful.
lover.
So disrespectful.
man.
Right?
But when he ends up in
look
LA,
at this. Look at this take. The
That's
Marvels
like
will
going
not
bad.
make half of what Captain Marvel as well.
you will. You're right. They're gonna make double what Captain Marvel made.
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
Marvel's
lie,
is gonna make some money.
I liked Captain Marvel. I really did, and I'm excited about Marvels. So
I think the Marvels is gonna make some money.
yeah, I think it's gonna be good. And if it isn't, it is what it is. But I'm excited for it.
Made
I know.
430 million domestic.
I love Captain.
It made 1.1 billion.
You know, a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah, worldwide. So it did very well. So
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. All right, Bronny, did I get you
was it
as you be
Rambo?
unprofessional and turn off your camera?
I'm not being unprofessional.
You did get Brady. He just finished talking, and then he gave you his last 2 parts.
Dang, I was trying to get him to get back on camera. You just want to wreck everything, Hendo.
What up?
No, he's
And
gonna come
Midnight
back.
Suns is also gonna be better than Fantastic Four.
I think what we've learned here today, if nothing else,
Correct. And
is
the
don't
Las
make the
Vegas was
Fantastic
crisply
Four.
better than the Golden State Warriors.
He froze.
Los
Weird.
Angeles Lakers and Chris Paul.
Weird how Karma does that.
Yeah, it does.
This has been a great stream. I appreciate all of you guys coming on. Even Bronny, Book, what's wrong with your camera?
there's nothing wrong with my camera.
Nothing wrong
Why
with
is
his
it
camera.
weird? And why is he doing? What
It's
the hell
not.
is it? What are
It's
you-
not doing the web effect.
He was cho juggling.
Oh no.
Oh no, he's shooting webs. That's what he's doing. He's shooting webs.
God damn.
I thought he was doing this.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's what I was like. Wait, what is it? Like, were you
No, he was shooting
juggling
webs.
the?
He was shooting
Yeah,
webs.
He's Spider-Man.
I thought he was juggling and tickling at the same time.
Oh,
Hey, Bob.
oh no.
Oh boy,
Hey
you
Bob,
got shit going.
does that shirt have the feet attached to it? Where you put your feet in? Does it have the whole? Is it like the whole piece?
Do I need to stand up and show
Nah,
my
you
full
don't.
attire?
I was just asking,
Sure
man. You
don't.
ain't gotta do that. No, don't do that.
What, you trying to model? You trying to model it for us?
We don't need crotch view. No, we don't. No.
No, Hendo thinks I'm wearing pajamas, which I'm not.
A onesie. It's this onesie. Like you
No.
put your feet in
No,
it.
I mean, you're definitely
I mean,
wearing.
it's okay if you're wearing a onesie.
Right, it's
I'm not
fine.
wearing a onesie. Do you
You
know
done
how
done
hot
that.
it is here? Do you
People
know
in
how
Dundas
hot
do
it
it all
is
the
here
time.
right now?
You're
Hey, hell-
indoors.
Right. It's hot outside, but it's cold in here because the AC's on. Like, yeah.
All right, we're getting it out of here.
Do you
Thank
have
you
a
very
Batman
much for
shirt for
hanging.
the DC stream?
I also
Yes,
have a
Flash one. I know he has a Flash one.
No.
Flash works.
No.
Is it possible to do a whole stream on DC? I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
It is. It just won't last long though.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
think
it'll,
that much.
it'll last.
No.
Hey, Big Reg, maybe you and me will do one, okay?
Very
Because
No.
there's some people
I
on
wanna be
here
there.
that hate.
I want to be there.
It'll last a very long time. Listen, when
It's a
Jose
lot of
and I
hate.
talk about Star Wars, that goes on for hours. Okay.
Oh, we're gonna do a
There's
Star
a
Wars.
By
lot
hours, you mean
wrong.
60 seconds.
There's a lot wrong. That's not
Yeah.
at all what I mean.
Yeah, how many movies can you make about a
Jonah
Death
Hex
Star?
over everybody. I'm just saying
Such a
that.
goddamn
Damn it.
That was a
Jonah
horrible. That was a horrible movie.
Jonah Hex terrible.
All right,
Horrible.
everybody
The
have a
movie's
good
terrible.
night.
Yes, the movie
Make-
was terrible. The
Make
character.
sure
Jonah
to
is terrible.
make sure to be in the stream tonight for Brodney. When lunch break hot
Rank
take,
Kings?
and if Hendo has
You mean Rank
hanging out
Kings?
with Hendo,
It'll be
Rank
Rank
Kings.
Kings.
No, it's not Rank. Is it Rank Kings?
Yes.
It's a boxing match.
Okay, Rank Kings.
Yes.
I thought they were talking UFC. My bad. I'm hungry. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Have a good night.